Oh, it says we're live. What do you know?
Oh. Oh my god, I've been resuscitated. Whew, thank God.
Ooh, I am so glad to hear that. Welcome to our slightly late starting, but what else is new, GXG. I'm Peter. Hello. We also have Jason, Jenny, Jim, and Katie. Katie, who is mute right now because she's eating an Oreo. Or not. So anyway, we haven't been on in a couple weeks, and Jenny is furiously making crinkling noises.
Wow.
So we're gonna cover some topics from both that would both apply to our regular GXG Hangouts and also our GXG Music Hangouts because we're lazy like that. We don't feel like making separate ones at the moment. Any complaints from that? Just say no.
No.
Thank you. All right. Let's get started with something easy. Jason has reported to us that something like 17 minutes or so of Guardians of the Galaxy footage has been released. I know I saw a newish trailer just today, but I didn't realize there was 17-ish minutes or so.
So it was only released in theaters, and apparently they were fairly lax about the cell phone recording and things like that. So you were supposed to be able to find it on YouTube fairly quickly. I unfortunately was not that quick and have yet to been able to find it.
Okay, well, the newer-ish trailer that I saw just earlier today certainly looks like fun. You still only get a few seconds glimpse of some of the secondary bad guy characters, but that's all right. And I do like that they seem to be playing up Rocket as a total smartass.
Excellent.
Yep, smartass and badass, but not comedy relief, which is nice.
I was going to say, I guess he could be through his, smartass and badassness.
Yeah, but when you think comedy relief in a hero picture or a superhero picture, you usually think something that's being intentionally wacky.
Yes, Jar Jar.
Yeah, and that's not Rocket.
No, I would. Yep.
So are we excited about Guardians?
Yes.
All right, we see thumbs up from Jim. We see Jenny ignoring us. We see Katie drinking. Okay.
She nodded.
Okay, just checking.
I nodded too, but you can't tell the difference, so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, this one's going to come back to haunt me for a long time because, as I've explained before we went off the air, I'm stupid.
Okay, and?
Nobody's
stupid.
Nobody's going to counter that.
Nobody's gonna tell otherwise. I don't expect to. That's all right.
God damn! No one throws Peter a rope.
Nobody, not a single person. Thank you very
Just
much.
a
Alrighty. So we were talking at random about random things earlier, and we had kind of through our regular inane chatter come across the idea for Office Dungeons and Dragons. Well, I don't know if we really came across the idea. It's just kind of part of life, which Jenny is going to be writing for us. But of course, Jenny thinks she needs more experience in office environments before she can write us an Office Dungeons and Dragons RPG.
All you have to do is read Dilbert. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've seen the requisite movies and television shows.
Okay, you're familiar with Office Space, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, see, you've got everything you need. All right. All right, but I suppose we should probably get Jenny started off with at least like some player classes. Let's see. The cleric. What's a cleric going to be? Nah, it's not a sysadmin, because.
No, that's a wizard.
Yeah, sysadmin is a wizard. Okay, all right. Do we have the equivalent of like a paladin or a fighter or a barbarian or a thief?
Thief is going to be an HR manager.
That's an assassin.
Ah, fair enough. Not that we're bitter.
Not at all.
I unfortunately don't know the standard classes well enough to be able to contribute, so I'm going to throw out oddball suggestions.
No, that's fine. Go for it.
Okay, so we're at assassin.
Yeah, the assassin equivalent is the HR manager.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, you
What's
are
the
ready
GM?
this down, I hope.
Of course I am.
Because Jenny is the secretary.
Hey.
What? Secretary is a perfectly noble cause.
Yes, I realized that, but I was a secretary all through graduate school, too.
Full-time or temporary?
Just if the phone rang, I had to answer it because nobody else would.
Oh, okay. When I was in graduate school, I worked a lot of temp jobs as secretaries or, administrative assistants.
Oh, no, I was just the default secretary because I was the only female in the room.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, at least nobody could get you confused with somebody else then.
I was going to say, were you called by the wrong name?
Okay.
It's okay, Paul. It'll stop being funny in a little while.
Shut up.
Okay, keep going, Jake. Keep going.
Okay, well, let's see. So, let's see. Let's see.
I think the druid has got to be the office manager.
Okay. Yeah,
Right, the one that communes with nature and is close to the building.
I think the cleric
This
would be
manager's
like a developer. That could work. Yeah, cleric would be developers would be the clerics. Let's see. What else we got?
So I'm going to ask a stupid question. What does a paladin do?
Oh, he's just an asshole.
All right, so that's got to be that's got to be. I was thinking accounts payable, right? In my company, if we're 60 days late on a bill, that's no problem.
Sure. Okay, that'll work.
I've had telco circuits shut down because we had inadvertently not paid the bill. And in fact, a month after we turned up brand new circuits, they've gotten turned down by the telco because the bill has not been paid.
Oops.
And that has happened multiple months in a row. Oh shit, we forgot to pay the bill. Well, we never got the bill. Okay, we'll get the bill and then we'll pay it. And then the next month happens and oh shit, we didn't pay the bill again. So the circuit goes down again.
Sounds like you've encountered this issue before.
Many times.
Okay. All right. Well, while we let that brew over in our mind, in which Jim has refreshed our memories as to where paperwork and paychecks in relation to Dungeons and Dragons comes from. Would you like to recount this?
Sure. It's the first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Monsters Manual. There's a single-panel cartoon in it somewhere where they make reference to it.
How far away from you is that manual right now?
I actually don't have one anymore.
Oh, come on.
No, really, I don't.
That's a problem.
Once
Not
upon a
even
time,
an
though, I
electronic
could.
version?
No. Once upon a time, though, I could watch you roll percentage dice and tell you which treasure table you got, and then generally be within an item or two of what your result
Wait,
was.
let me see if I have it.
So I didn't really need to keep a copy of it anymore.
Well, see, Jenny, this is why you're the secretary, because you can find everything.
I don't know if I do have it. I'm just trying to see. Okay. What's it called?
The
first edition.
Monster Manual, first edition.
Nope, not the Monster Manual. The
You
Dungeon
said
Guide.
Monster Manual when you...
I was checking to see if anyone was paying attention.
No, sure. You're the one who knows it and you're trying to trick us. You know we don't stand a chance against you.
No, I thought I had all of these books, but I don't know where they are.
Well, you clearly need to adopt the Dewey Decimal System, right, Peter?
Totally.
I don't need a Dewey Decimal System. They're electronic. I had a whole file folder full of Dungeons and Dragons books.
Even if they're electronic, Dewey will still help you. Now Katie's laughing at us.
Yeah, we can hear her from the other mic.
Pathfinder books, but...
Katie, if you're going to be laughing at us, Katie, you might as well do it directly into the microphone.
I am done eating now.
Oh, okay. Well, then you can tell us about your grilled cheese.
My grilled cheese was fantastic.
Wow.
Spectacular.
So last night, well, let me back up.
Well, we're getting
Am
some
I a
echo. Are you
robot
two
for you?
really close to each other?
Yeah, Jason doesn't know to mute his mic while I'm talking, apparently. Oh, there we go. So, I think he just told me to go fuck myself.
Katie's talking. Be quiet.
You two do.
Or Jenny, I don't know. One of us.
So, we were at the beach last week. My uncle, whose beach house it is, made French toast, and the boys had not had French toast since they were old enough to remember it. Like, not like we've not made it at all, but in the past couple of years. And so they were like, oh, French toast. They're totally excited about the French toast. So we came home, and they were like, Daddy, can you make us French toast? So last night we had dinner. We had bacon and French toast for dinner, and it was fantastic. And so tonight, I had to go to a meeting for our dance thing, and I came home and I was ravenous because it was, whatever time I got home, and I hadn't eaten dinner yet. And I opened the fridge, and there, were 2 pieces of leftover French toast.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. And I had just bought a new chunk of Colby Jack, like the good kind from the deli section in Lowe's. So I just felt like it needed to become a sandwich.
I absolutely approve of that.
And I put a little extra cinnamon on the...
Fantastic.
You're making me hungry.
Spectacular. So yes, it was quite good. I even gave Jason a bite. That's how much I love him.
Aww. Was it as awesome as it sounds?
Twice as much. It was really good. It almost reminded me of a Monte Cristo, right? Isn't that the sandwich that has the French toast and then deep fried and everything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ham and cheese on French toast, basically.
I think it's sourdough, isn't it?
I don't know. I thought it was French toast, but
it's fatty and it's good.
Absolutely. It's been too long since I've had one, so I honestly don't remember.
You guys are making me hungry.
I've never had one because they sounded really fatty.
I considered putting ham on it because I was thinking Monte Cristo, but I like cheese enough that cheese was enough for me. If I had been making 2 and making 1 for Jason, I would totally put ham on it.
Speaking of grilled cheese, I don't know if you've been following Alton Brown as he's been producing more web content lately, but through his YouTube channel, one of his last couple videos is him making a grilled, as in on the grill, cheese sandwich. That looks awfully good. It's basically, a couple thick, big pieces of bread that's been grilled instead of toasted in a toaster or whatever, and melting the cheese on the grill, well, within a container on the grill.
His YouTube channel is awesome, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Right? Short videos, like 4 minutes long at the longest, probably even shorter than that. Very, very cool stuff.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as complex as the stuff he was doing on Good Eats, but it's endlessly fascinating.
So I have an important grilled cheese question.
Okay.
I know Jason told the rest of you guys earlier about how I made him make me a grilled cheese with cheese on the inside and on the outside.
Yes.
And this was like a year ago. But so when the cheese comes out of the sandwich and touches the pan and gets all crunchy, crispy, delicious and awesome or disgusting and gross?
Totally
Delicious
awesome.
and awesome.
I don't think anybody here is going to give you a thumbs down on that.
Just checking. I feel that way too. I like that's like my favorite part is the crunchy.
Seriously, do you even know us?
Yeah. I just had to make sure.
Sure.
Man, I
So
haven't
when
had
you
a
come
grilled
over
cheese
and
in
I
Wow,
so
make
she's
grilled
long.
cheese,
testing your loyalty as friends.
Well, when you have friends who can't tell you apart from somebody else. Okay. Anyway,
So now we still
Frog
have.
Face
Are we
isn't-
gonna have another thief, or are we just gonna have the assassin, or somebody?
You are really sticking to this game, aren't you?
yeah. Okay. Let's see. Well, let's see.
I already
The
started
assassin-
writing.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, let's see.
So is it going to be GXG is the game? And we're going to have to brand it that way?
We could.
Who's going to do the artwork,
I
Katie?
think
Hey, we'll develop this and then
the company,
put it
you know,
on
like
Kickstarter.
Hasbro.
I'm sorry, we were both talking at once. Katie, go ahead.
I was just saying that I think GXG should be like the production company, like Hasbro.
Yeah, okay, that'll work. So we'll be like Steve Jackson
GXG
Games.
presents
Exactly.
Paper and whatever it was called.
Paperwork and paychecks.
Paperwork and paychecks.
Yeah, we will be the next Steve Jackson Games.
Oh, that successful?
No,
I don't want to be rated.
you don't want to be rated or raided.
Rated.
Corporate raider.
No, didn't Steve
by the
Jackson Games
government.
get raided by the government?
Yeah, they did.
I think.
Why?
Yeah.
Jim probably knows the story better than I do. I just remember the headline.
That's a long time ago, so you're really taxing my memory. But I think it had to do with the it may have had to do with the GURPS cyberpunk book that they were doing, where they were getting into all the like the hacking and everything for the runners. And
I wasn't sure if it was that or if it was the Illuminati card game. Because the time I read it was about the time that Illuminati came out.
that was a great
Investigation of data piracy. The
That was
initial
a great
news stories reported that the Secret Service had raided a suspected ring of hackers. Gradually, the true story emerged. More than 3 years later, the federal court awarded damages and attorney's fee to the game company, ruling that the raid had been careless, illegal, and completely unjustified.
Yeah,
I wish I still had my cards. The Steve Jackson Games.
It was? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Their Illuminati card game was awesome, especially when you ended up having the Gnomes of Zurich controlling Jimmy Hoffa, who ended up being the Pope.
Nice.
That was a killer combo.
I have quite a few cards, probably 500 cards, maybe somewhere around there.
I had
one of our little crawl
complete
spaces.
sets of it at some point, but I don't know where they went.
I don't think I had ever had a complete set. It was one of those things that it was on special. I'm like, oh, I'll take 2 boxes.
Well, yeah, the local hobby shop before they closed down was blowing them out because they had bought a whole bunch of them and nobody bought them. And I could get an entire set of cards for the game for like $20. So I bought 2 sets.
Nice.
Oh, well,
I don't know where they are anymore though.
Well, speaking of card games, not a couple, just a couple weeks ago, was back home for some family events and had a chance to try out Boss Monster, which is kind of card game where you are. It's a smaller-ish set of cards, and it's built to take maybe, I don't know, half hour, 40 minutes for 4 players, and where you're basically playing as a boss monster character from like an old 8-bit video game, and the goal is to build a dungeon through which heroes will come and presumably be killed, and the person to collect the required amount of souls first wins.
Nice.
That sounds familiar.
Isn't that like Dungeon Keeper?
I haven't played Dungeon Keeper, so couldn't help you with that one.
Okay.
It's like that TV show Cupid, where he had to get 1,000 couples together before he could go back to
100.
100 before he could go back home. Yeah, it was a really good show, but it was too smart, and so it got canceled.
Jeremy Piven, right? So of course we liked it.
Well, he's just awesome. Period.
Indeed, yes.
Okay, so the game that game actually I believe that game was launched via Kickstarter, and I didn't get it through Kickstarter. I actually got it at one of the local comic book shops.
I think our game is going to be launched through Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
That's an
Totally.
interesting question. I've joined a couple of different Kickstarters, but it's always been serendipitous the way that I've stumbled upon them. And in fact, when I go to Kickstarter and search for things, I can't find shit that's interesting at all. But yet,
whatever way it is they've got for organizing and finding things, it just really sucks.
So it's not just me then. Okay, I was concerned.
I have never gone to the Kickstarter website and looked for something and actually found something interesting enough to want to help fund.
Yes, and I was the exact same way. That it's always been, I have found out about it through social media, I guess, or some blog or something like that, but never on my own and never, trolling through the Kickstarter website.
Mm-hmm. Well, since we're talking about Kickstarter, I suppose we can talk about potato salad.
Yeah.
Have we all seen this particular Kickstarter? Here, let me go ahead and pull it up here so I can tell you, as of nearly 10:30 on Eastern Time on the evening of July 9th. Kickstarter. There we go. As soon as that comes up here. Now this guy has apparently given at least one or two television interviews since launching it, but it certainly seems to me that that he just kind of started this as a bit of fun, just kind of a lark, saying, "Hey, I've never made potato salad, and so my goal is $10, and for that $10, I'm going to buy fixins for potato salad and make potato salad." And as of right now, there are over 5,200 backers and total pledges amounting to $43,000 with 23 days to go.
Now that is a goddamn lot of potato salad.
Yeah, because you get down here to stretch goals, and you can tell he was just kind of trying to make it up as he was going along because he didn't really know what to make of it.
That's how I live my life.
Okay, stretch goals. $250. Yeah, $250 better mayonnaise from the natural food section.
Nice.
$300 call a chef to get a better recipe. $350 make way more potato salad and probably do a third recipe. And then he gets up here to new stretch goals. $1,200. I'll pay someone to film a thank you video for all my backers. Yeah, he's way past $1,200 now, and I think by now he's probably like, holy shit.
Risk and challenges. It might not be that good. It's my first potato salad.
Yeah. So, and of course now he's way beyond the I'm going to rent out a hall and invite the internet to have potato salad, which at $43,000 he can certainly afford to do.
That would be awesome.
Now, what I want to know is how the hell he's going to actually give everybody who backed at a particular level a bite of potato salad.
You had to make a lot of potato salad.
Honey, can we have a Kickstarter to have the whole internet over?
Well, you see, and now if you go to Kickstarter's website and you just search products for potato, there are like 3 other people with potato salad Kickstarters.
No, it would have
last time I looked, none of them had any funding. And I think this is just kind of he probably did this as a joke, and it
probably.
I think this was a business plan. He's probably an MBA student, right?
Yeah.
It's like the guy that found or discovered the use of mesquite and put that in charcoal, right? Mm-hmm. He was the story I heard is that he was from Texas, an MBA student, and there's massive amounts of mesquite hanging around, and so he decided to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true, Texas people?
Sounds right.
Fair enough. We're lucky that it wasn't armadillo carcasses, right?
Yeah, or dropping.
Okay, now the thing I really want to know about this is for most of these pledge levels that he's got here, he's also got to film himself making the potato salad and thanking each one of these backers by name on video.
That's a lot of videos.
A hell of a long time to back to mention like 5,000. Well, if you take out the $1 ones and the $2 ones.
If he got an auctioneer to do it for him, he could probably do it in about a minute and a half.
Yeah. Where is this guy? Columbus, Ohio. I'm sure there's an auctioneer somewhere near Columbus, Ohio he can hire to rattle off everybody's names while he's making potato salad. All right. I know we know some people near Columbus, Ohio, right? So we've got to convince them to go to wherever his potato salad is being made, and send back a report. There won't be lots of other people there to do the same thing, but
How close is Sam to Ohio?
Well, he's in Indianapolis.
Yeah, those states all just kind of push together for me.
I'm sorry, I'm an American. I don't recognize the geography of my nation. Aren't those flyover states?
No, Ohio is that way,
Okay,
and Indiana is that way more.
I knew several people that didn't know where Nebraska was.
I know where Nebraska.
I know where Nebraska is. My favorite quote about Nebraska
of
is from
them.
Unforgiven.
2 of them, before they moved there, didn't know where it was. They landed and were surprised.
They were landing.
Oh, it's in the middle of... Well, one girl landed and she's like, what? It's snowing? Because she thought it was in the south.
True story. When my family moved to Louisiana, I cried because I didn't know where it was. Of course, I was 7 at the time, so.
Yeah, she was 24 or
All right.
22.
Yeah, then she's
That's
just
bad.
kinda dumb.
I'm just saying
Okay.
she has a PhD now in chemistry.
I hope she
Don't
knows
listen
where
to where
Nebraska is now.
She's not in the room with us, is she?
No, although
Okay.
she does spy on me, so who knows?
Oh, is this your roommate?
No. My roommate doesn't spy on me. He doesn't care what I do.
No, he's like 8 feet tall, too.
Yeah, he's pretty gigantic. He's a little bit bigger than I am.
Just a little, okay. Alright, let's see. Okay. Let's see, we gotta
I am
go-
pretty close to being 8 feet tall, though.
Oh,
I know you
yes.
can't tell.
Yes, for very loose definitions of very close.
So, are we going to finish this game or not?
Where are we?
Come on, y'all. You weren't serious, were you? You have 4 more classes to get through.
I was totally serious. I'm just not very good at it.
What are the classes? Come on, someone lead it. What's left?
Bard?
All right, Jim, I think, is our resident Dungeons and Dragons expert.
So,
I think he should.
Hang on, no, there was a
Bard?
really good one that we don't want to forget about. What was it?
Oh, the
Paladin?
bard is the
Yes.
secretary.
Accounts payable should definitely be a paladin because the paladin is the holier-than-thou, self-righteous pain in the ass who's not actually very useful.
Sounds like
Okay.
management, though.
Well, okay, so it can be the manager of accounting.
And everybody
Ranger?
hates the paladin, right? So there you go.
Yeah.
We actually had a paladin once who was, you couldn't hate him. He just was too lovable. Believe it or not.
Well, I would think that bards would be the admin aides.
Why?
So that you can hide behind them? Because their bosses, because they actually do all the work and carry the whole party and their bosses just hide behind them?
Yeah,
I
and,
think it's
you know,
because the bards are the soothsayers. They know how to grease the wheels and get things done. They know who to talk to in each town to go to. That definitely sounds like the
the
assistants.
admin aide. Yeah.
See, I was thinking that a bard would be more like the artists.
Hmm.
Though I realize not all companies have artists. Most have at least like marketing and designers and stuff like that.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I mean,
Yeah. So would marketing be the bards then?
I don't know.
Why do we have to have direct analogs to existing Dungeons and Dragons classes?
I
Well,
thought we
because
were
it's
basing
easier
it
to
on
get
the first
started with.
edition Dungeons and Dragons.
Who said that?
You.
No, I was just saying where
You
the
don't
name of
remember
it came
saying
from.
it, but you said it totally.
Oh.
Everybody else knows he said it, right?
I'm not going to extrapolate from
Who
what
else
you
knows?
say if I can't take it that far.
Do you have anything you'd like to share, Jim?
No.
I don't think you're trying hard enough.
Yeah, I don't think you're not being a team player.
That's what it said
Okay.
in my yearly review.
So, should the bard be a secretary or should it be an assistant or something like that? An assistant?
I think marketing probably works better.
Marketing?
Yeah.
Okay. Who would be the ranger? I thought maybe sales, but maybe that's because I work at a manufacturing company that sells things.
I think the ranger needs to be someone who like does everything though, right? Because like Aragorn is who the ranger is based off of. So the ranger kind of has to be flexible and multi-talented and hot, preferably.
Sales.
That sounds like the receptionist.
Nice.
Just saying.
This game is
How do
never
you know
going to
your
get made.
How do you know your receptionist is flexible, baby?
Because I've seen her bend over the desk.
Nice. I think that might have been sexist.
I threw the quarter on the floor. I can't deny it. Oh shit! I seem to have dropped my keys. Find them
So
behind
who's
your
the
big
ranger?
desk.
Yeah, that's weird.
Are we going to come to
So
a
what do we have so
consensus?
far? What do we have so far, anyway?
Wizard is the sysadmin. Assassin is an HR manager. Druid is an office manager. Clerk is a developer. Paladin is accounts payable. Bard is marketing. Are you writing this down? I already wrote it down.
Well, you wrote it down, so I'm not writing anything down. I was just
You're
typing something.
OMG, she's taking notes.
Yes, she really is.
So
She's the best
Kicking ass
one.
and taking names.
we have
We would all be lost without her.
a ranger and a monk
absolutely.
and another thief if you guys want one. Because we're basing this on first edition Dungeons and Dragons classes, as per Jim's request. I mean, what's stronger than demand, as per his demand?
Jim is silent on the issue.
This Kickstarter is not going to get any money.
Did you expect it to? I mean, after all, we're not making potato salad here.
I was hoping to be able to afford a monocle after this, but clearly that won't work.
Okay.
I think I hurt
Monocle,
Peter with
huh?
that one.
What can I say? All right.
Maybe we should move on and come back to
Not
this.
as much money is worth of glasses.
What in the hell are we talking about tonight? Do we even have a subject? You guys made me get on. Did you even have something to talk about?
I do. I have something
What
to
do you
talk
mean
about.
we don't? What do you mean we don't have a subject? We've been talking about this entire time.
My grilled cheese.
No, we started with the grilled cheese, and then we moved on to paper and paper.
Kickstarters. We talked about Guardians of the Galaxy. We've kind of struggled through some of our Office Dungeons and Dragons.
I have life-changing news that will affect everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah,
Everyone?
Homestar Runner is coming back.
I saw that.
Somebody cue the
Really?
chipmunk.
Yeah,
Really? Well, how long has he not been doing these things?
I have to be honest. I just kind of like stopped watching like 6 years ago, so I don't know.
I thought it was
I didn't know.
four,
I didn't know that he went off.
4 years.
All right, hang on. Looking it up. Homestar Runner.
Once I started putting out the video games on the Wii, that's when I lost interest.
What, they had video games?
Oh yeah,
All right.
like it's Homestar's game for really cool people or something like that.
All right. It says, according to Wikipedia, which, as we all know, is always correct and always accurate.
Right,
it
because
says-
nobody would put anything wrong on there ever.
Totally. It says, other than an update on April Fool's Day 2014, there has been no new content since December 2010. Matt Chapman
Wow,
has
you guys.
gone to work as a writer-director on other programs such as Gravity Falls and the Aquabats Super Show.
Nice. Nice. We like the Aquabats Super Show.
Like
Maybe
is
there
not
will
the
be-
word I'd use.
It's awesome.
It's ridiculous.
And no, it is awesome.
I can't say I've ever seen it, so somebody's going to have to fill me in.
Do you have Netflix? It's on Netflix.
I do not have Netflix.
Ah, what a
Is
shame.
it on Amazon Prime?
You know, I don't know. I've not looked for it on there.
Well, no, shall we?
Anyway, new Homestar Runner.
It's a new Homestar Runner, huh? Okay.
I hope Trogdor comes back.
Let's see. Aquabats Super Show, Season 1. It is available to buy on Amazon Instant Video. It looks like it is not included with Prime streaming. So there you go. I'm sure you're all excited by this.
I'm
Oh,
not excited
incredible.
by the fact that it's not on Amazon Instant.
It's very silly.
It's awesome.
It's
So is
very
this
silly.
a kids show or just odd?
Okay, so you know how The Simpsons was originally an offshoot from the Tracy Ullman show?
Yes.
So Aquabats was originally on Yo Gabba Gabba. So if you know anything about Yo Gabba Gabba, that should give you kind of an indication of how completely off the wall and weird and just non
And
sequitur.
awesome.
Yeah, it totally is.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty awesome, but it's also just like sometimes you just go, what?
Okay.
You just have to love it for what it is and not try to pigeonhole it into a category of anything.
Okay.
The season finale of the first season co-stars Al Yankovic, so
Oh, well then in that case it must be good.
it is.
Oh, that's another great thing we can bring up.
You're welcome.
Al's new album. I believe that comes out next week.
I was unaware that there was a new one.
What
I
is
can't
wrong with
wait.
you? Mandatory Fun it'll be called.
I love the posters he's been putting out.
Yeah, it's all very communist propaganda like.
Yeah, did you see the one with the captions written in Chinese? And the
Yes, but I
translation,
haven't.
I don't wear any underwear?
It's kind of like on Nature Trail to Hell, where there's that section where their lyrics backwards, and it's like I eat cheese whiz, when played so you can understand it. Yeah, kind of non sequiturs, but fun. But yeah, I have Mandatory Fun pre-ordered for Amazon in both CD and vinyl
Nice.
because I am that much of a fanboy. And I don't regret it at all.
I wonder if it's on. It's probably available on Google Play, isn't it?
Well, it probably will be.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean.
Well,
You
here,
didn't
let's
say it
find out.
exactly right.
Okay. Let's see.
Grammar Nazis.
Well, I did not see that one coming.
Did you say my
Don't
name?
laugh at that.
Did you call me? Did you invoke the Katie?
All right, so let's see. Can you even do pre-orders on Google Play Music?
I don't know. I've never looked.
Me neither. All
Well,
right,
when I
so-
search for Mandatory Fun on Google Play, I get Mental Arithmetic.
Yeah, and
I get Love in 90 Days
Ooh.
and .NET 4.0 generics.
Whoa, not
Clearly,
that.
Weird Al is not available for pre-order.
Party.
But I do see all of his other standard albums, including the Al in the Box permanent record set for $30. Although it's not really in a box if you're ordering it digitally, or is it?
That's deep.
But then again, they still, even though it's totally digital, they still divide it up as if it were on separate discs. So there's all 4 discs right there. All right, so I would presume that the album will probably be available on Google Play eventually, but it is not available for pre-order on Google Play now. I'm sorry, Jim.
That's all right. I'll get over it.
You sure?
No,
Do you need some additional counseling?
no. Hold
Is there
on.
anything I can help with?
I do have a box of tissues though, so I'm okay.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. Oh, so I guess since we're all... No, Jenny's missing. Jeez, Jenny, she's always missing. See, now we're just going to all have to sit around and stare at each other and say nothing until she gets back.
No, carry on.
My wayward son.
Nothing until she gets back.
Thank you, Katie.
It was nothing. Really.
Truly.
We know. All right. So we can go on. We can kind of move on to our GXG music segment since we're being so lazy as to not actually produce separate GXG music this week. So I was watching this TED Talk the other day, which is dangerous because I watch too many of them as it is. But this gentleman named Mark Ronson, who I guess has produced a bunch of albums, and I had no idea who he was before, did this talk titled "How Sampling Transformed Music," and in it he mentioned one of the main thrusts of the talk was.
He said thrust.
I said.
I was gonna say I come back and all of a sudden you guys are talking about thrusts.
Well, yeah, it's physics. Hello. No, anyway.
Thrust his fists against the posts.
Anyway.
And still insists he sees the ghosts.
That's right. Anyway, so one of the main points he was making was that sampling and remixing isn't so much about just taking an existing piece of music and reusing it or doing a different spin on it. It's more, in his opinion, more about the person who's taking that music and inserting himself into it. Taking somebody's words and making them your own kind of thing. And I don't know that I necessarily agree with that in all instances of sampling and remixing, but I thought it was an interesting perspective on it. And I figured I'd ask y'all what you thought along those lines. So how does sampling and remixing work in your head? Is it just making something different for the sake of making it different, or is there more to it?
I think it depends on the artist, and some artists have, different goals or.
Are we talking?
Oh man, she took my answer.
Dang it.
So we're talking about sampling within other songs, in addition to just like the mashups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I heard one of my favorite examples of it today.
Jason, would you mute your microphone while she's talking?
Thank you. What's the song that goes do do and do do and do? I can't. My voice is completely screwed up. But it has the "I've been downhearted, babe" sampled in it.
Oh yeah.
And I just I think that's a great use of that.
That's Moby.
Well, I like Moby. I thought it was actually. Yeah. But anyway, I think Moby is a good example of someone who will take something completely obscure that you probably have never heard of before and rework it into a contemporary piece in a way that really works and is really moving and touching, in my humble opinion. All right, somebody else's turn.
I choose you, Jim.
Oh, okay. Well, like Jenny, I think it kind of depends on the artist. Like, I'm a pretty big Paul Oakenfold fan, and I like a lot of the remixes that he does, and some of them he takes chunks of songs and does completely new things with them, where you sit there and you go, oh, wait, I've heard this before, but it's not the same song. But at the same time, he does take an awful lot of songs and keeps the basic structure of them and just adds in a lot of new elements to it. So it feels like a completely different take on the same song. Both of them are completely valid approaches to sampling, and I enjoy both of them. So I don't know what that says to you on your question, but
no, I think that's fine. You feel free to always to ignore my question, just ramble on and whatever you think works.
I generally do.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna do anyway.
I know.
One thing that I did think
leader.
of. One thing that I did think of when you asked the question was, the Jamie's crying sample from Van Halen. That was one of the very first, like, widely widely used samples. You know, the guys in Van Halen had no idea that that was happening. It was all happened behind their backs with management. And Eddie Van Halen apparently heard the song on the radio one day and like did a double take and went, "Wait, what?" Because of his guitar riff in it. He had no idea.
He just kind of got
Wait,
inserted
they sampled
in.
that in other songs?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
They used it in a Tone Loc song. There's a name you haven't heard probably in 20 years, but yeah.
Yes,
I have that album. He did only have the one album, didn't he?
He did only have the one album.
Loked After Dark.
Yes.
That you know it off the top of your head is amazing, Peter.
Why is that amazing?
I'm not sure if I'm ashamed of you or proud
Yes.
of you. Probably both.
You should be
Ashamed.
impressed. You should be
I would be
ashamed to
proud.
be impressed. No, because I am not ashamed of any of the music that I listen to.
Well, what kind of a rockist are you?
I'm totally not.
I segued for you.
Why, thank you, Jenny. You're too kind.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so I came across the term rockism the other day, and
Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
didn't realize
Jason
you were-
didn't get
yes,
his.
Jesus, I didn't get called on. I didn't realize I had to speak up for
Jason.
myself.
You gotta put your hand up.
Oh, great. Jason, do you have something you'd like to add?
Calling me. So I had never thought about that from a mashup perspective, right? To Jim's point, right? Certainly with sampling and with remixing, that there absolutely is the input of the particular remixer's desires on it. But a lot of times when I first heard mashups, it truly was not necessarily the artist, I can't think of the right word for it, creator. It wasn't necessarily them trying to make a personal statement, but hey, I found these two completely different songs that seem to go well together, and whether or not they're trying to make a statement from that, I think probably depends on who they are. But I have to say that there are some mashup artists that absolutely create something brand new from the combination of those disparate elements, almost like the Beastie Boys with Paul's Boutique. And the one that comes to mind are the Kleptones. If you guys haven't heard the Kleptones, they are fantastic mashup artists.
Jason, have you heard Rock Sugar?
I don't believe I've heard Rock Sugar.
Oh, look them up, because they take and they do 2 and 3 songs, and it's not like a sampling mashup because it's all performed by a band. But the lead singer is the guy who did most of the voices for Animaniacs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I share them out every now and then. Probably like once a year I share Don't Stop the Sandman, which is a mashup of Don't Stop Believin' and Enter the Sandman.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
yeah, look them up.
So I made my roommate listen to that, and he was not a fan. Apparently, there was just too much going on. And he couldn't get behind it.
What is wrong with that gentleman? No, I'm sorry, he's not a gentleman anymore, is he?
Why?
Because he doesn't like it.
Oh.
See?
Well, Jenny's roommate is
Yeah.
entitled to his opinion because he's like 8 feet tall.
Is
You're
he
just afraid of
bulletproof,
him.
though?
He did scare
Probably.
me when I met him. He's that big.
He doesn't scare me.
Wait, he's taller than you are?
Yeah.
He's really tall.
He came with Jenny to the Renaissance Fair when we went, and I was looking for Jenny through the crowds, and of course Jenny is not visible through most of the crowd.
Shut up.
And
He's not saying there's anything wrong with that.
no, I'm not. But her
Yeah, right.
roommate is so tall, and he's actually quite wide. Like, people were parting like the Red Sea in front of Moses as this guy walked, and I saw him before I saw Jenny, and I was like, damn. And then, oh, there's Jenny. He's a good landmark.
So I look a little smaller
Little?
compared to him.
A little?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now imagine us flanking my sister and her husband at their wedding.
I don't have any scale.
Okay,
to go by
well,
here.
so her husband
Is
is
your
about,
sister?
No, she's taller than me, and her husband's a little bit shorter than my roommate. And so I was her maid of honor, and he was the best man. And
So it looked
just-
like more
so we
bars
had to-
and more places.
So we had to walk down the aisle together. It was ridiculous.
We're holding this match, are you saying? Alright, okay.
So he could not like it if he doesn't want to.
Well, that doesn't mean we have to like him not liking it. So there. Where were we? Okay. So
We segued.
look, I've got my.
We were trying to
checklist
move
here.
on, but Jason yanked us backwards.
I'm sorry.
Jason, you're a big jerk. You know what? Before we go on to our next part, can I take a poll of how many people actually did the homework?
Oh, I did.
Okay, Jim did. Jenny?
No.
No. Jason did the homework because he assigned it. Katie?
I drank a fifth.
You can neither confirm nor deny that at this time,
Which
Senator.
velocity? But no, because I don't. Gilded Stars and Zealous Hearts is better than Simpatico.
Oh, these are fighting words.
I like Simpatico, but I love Gilded Stars and Zealous Hearts. It's got all these fabulous harmonies that just like run all over the place.
Why don't we come back to that?
No. Well, I'm saying I haven't listened to Simpatico ad nauseum, and probably not listened to it at all in a decade. So maybe I should just go to bed. Not that I'm like tired or anything.
That's your punishment
You could
for
stay.
not doing it?
No, your
Oh,
punishment
no.
is that you have to stay. Anyway, so Jason, why don't you go ahead and give us an intro to both the group and the album?
All right, Velocity Girl was a, so I would call them an independent band, but this is probably, right at the forefront of the indie scene, 1992, 1993. They came out of the college rock scene, College Park, Maryland, University of Maryland. They were on Sub Pop Records right out of Seattle, the infamous Sub Pop. And
so this
their
was about
first
the time that Sub Pop was starting to get big exposure.
Correct. Their first album was very shoegazer material, a lot of overdubbed guitars and sort of washed out vocals, and behind the rhythm section basically for the vocals. The second album, Simpatico, that I had you guys listen to, was sort of a more poppy, melodic version, but still faint overtones of shoegaze. And then, as Katie pointed out, their latest album, their final album, Gilded Stars and Zealous Hearts, was absolutely at the forefront of their poppy phase. Now, personally, I like what I call waif rock, right? So these sort of indie rock bands that are fronted by a female lead singer that has this sort of, ethereal voice.
Mm-hmm.
Letters to Cleo is another great example. Belly could possibly be one. So I have a soft spot for those types of bands, and I have a soft spot for shoegaze. So I like Simpatico quite a lot. I don't know if it's their best album, honestly. I like it quite a lot, but it is an acquired taste. There's no doubt about that because of the shoegaze overtones.
Okay. Well, I listened to it a couple times through, shortly after you gave us the assignment, and I gotta say, it just the general sound, it just kind of screams early '90s pop rock to me. I mean, it's like, there's no other era where that fits. Kind of the kind of album that you listen to and you're like, yeah, I'll bet I could tell you within a couple years when that was released, because the production sounds just like that. It did get a little repetitive after a while. I mean, they didn't exhibit a ton of range on the album, but it was certainly enjoyable, and it's something I think I could go back to again. Maybe not every day, maybe not every week, but every few months, give a few tracks a listen, that sort of thing. But I give it probably an enthusiastic B-, as opposed to like a crappy C+, like you're grudgingly accepting that it's pretty good. But if that's, like I said, I don't know how representative that is of the rest of their work, but if that was representative of everything else, I don't think I'd need to buy anything else they did, though.
I would say it's fairly representative. Right. Again, they got a little bit more poppy and a little bit less shoegazy on Gilded Stars and Zealous Hearts. A lot of the harmonies came out a little bit more, but they have a particular road that they hoe. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And you're not going to find a lot of true differences or genre differences between Song 1 and Song 10 on Gilded Stars and Zealous Hearts.
Okay. Jim?
I didn't dislike it, but like you, I thought it sounded like a particular era. What it reminded me most of was something that got a very strong reaction from Katie, and all I could think of was like a Liz Phair cover band, and not any particular Liz Phair album.
It doesn't actually sound like Liz Phair.
Right? No, it doesn't, and that's a fair assessment. But all I could think of while I was listening to it was, I've definitely heard this before, and that's not surprising, granted the age of it, but it didn't strike me as being particularly special either. But I've got no history with the band, so I don't know anything about them other than this album. And it was all right. I didn't dislike it. Just didn't set me on fire either. That's all.
All right. Katie, is there anything you'd like to add about the group, since you didn't specifically do the homework? She's just shaking her head. She's like, I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah. She's barely awake at this point. Battling a chest cold.
There she goes.
If your chest is cold, you should probably cover it up.
No, don't cover it up.
Okay, and since Jenny didn't do the homework, shame on you, Jenny.
Damn you, Jenny.
Sorry.
Well, then I think we should assign you the task of assigning us homework then.
Yes.
Hey, can I ask you a question of the homework assigner?
Oh, sure.
Why that particular group and album?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Thank you.
So why that particular album? Because I really wanted to assign the first album, Copacetic, but I was afraid that might be a little bit too shoegazy for everyone, and that they would dismiss it outright. That particular group, because I like them. As I said earlier, I like that sort of what I will derisively call waif rock, and I figured it was probably something that no one else in the group had been exposed to. Right? If I had chosen Liz Phair, then you most likely would have heard of her. If I had chosen Letters to Cleo, it's possible you guys might have heard of them as well. So.
Okay. Alrighty.
Hey, if Jenny doesn't want to give homework, can I give Rock Sugar as homework? Since we mentioned them.
Well, why don't we give Jenny?
That means since Jenny's already listened to them, she doesn't have to do the homework, and the next time we have the show,
well, yeah, but
prepared.
If she's assigning the homework, then she doesn't have to do it anyway, because she already knows it.
All right, fine.
All right, so Jenny, we're gonna give you until the end of the show to assign, so don't feel like pressured right now.
This isn't the end of the show?
5, 4, 3.
Okay.
All right.
No. I don't have my music anymore because it's on my computer that died and I haven't fixed it yet.
What, there aren't like albums that you could just name off the top of your head as, oh my god, that's awesome, and you guys might not have heard of it? We'll come back to you, don't worry. So moving away from our GXG music segment for a moment, Jim, earlier you were showing us your Warbler.
Boy, that sounds dirty.
Oh, yeah.
Jim.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, so why don't you talk about that?
So for all one person who watches this show and who may not know, my wife does custom costume design and has been doing an awful lot of Game of Thrones stuff. So to kind of
you're going to plug the website?
FadenDesignStudios.com.
Faden?
That's correct. German for thread.
Oh, is that what that is? I've learned something.
You guys learned something tonight.
Yep.
Dang.
The show's over. We can go.
All right. Anyway, go ahead.
So anyway, one of the things that commissions that she's gotten is a Cersei Lannister dress, and the dress has got a belt that goes with it. And obviously, sewing, you can't make a belt that's made of metal plates and everything. So I found out about this material called Warbler, and my local comic book store carries it in sheets. And it's a thermoreactive plastic, and comes in like sheets the size of poster board. And basically you heat it up and you can shape it, and then when it cools it retains its shape, and it will bond to itself and to other things. And so I've been making, I don't know if you can see it, there's one of the plates for one of for Cersei's belt. Here's another one, and they go side by side like this, and then they go underneath. And the stuff can be painted. It's a little bit flexible, so it will bend a little bit and conform to the body. And if you see it, there's like grooves in it, which I made by heating it and then putting a dowel underneath it and
like
kind of rolling it. Yeah, I actually rolled it with another dowel, used it like a rolling pin to give it the shape, and I'm going to sand it and paint it, and it will be part of the
now, is that the size the sheet comes in, or did you cut it to that size?
Oh, no, I cut it to this size. It comes in 3 different sizes. One is like a ledger size paper. Then you've got a sheet of poster board, and then there's another sheet that's larger than poster board. And you don't have to make like plates and stuff with it. Like I showed you guys earlier, I made a ring out of it.
There's no Elvish engraved on that ring. I'm afraid it's a failure.
Well, not yet. There's not.
He's got to heat it. You can't see it unless he heats it.
Oh,
well, if I heat it, it will deform, Jason. So it kind of is not going to.
No. To what kind of temperature
right.
do you have to heat that to get it to be malleable?
It doesn't take an awful lot. You could use a hair dryer, but it's better if you go and get a heat gun from like Home Depot.
So, the reason I ask is because, like, if you've got just like excessive body heat, you're just one of those people who puts out way too much energy.
No, you're not going to deform your Warbler with just your body heat. It needs to be hotter than that.
What if you're, say, outside in, say, like the middle of the Texas summer?
Still not really quite hot enough. The heat gun that I got goes up to, I think it's 1,500 degrees.
Okay.
And that kind of heat, it only takes about 10 seconds or so to make the stuff malleable enough to form it.
Okay.
I was trying to make a Magneto helmet with it first, and that's hard to do because of the shape of it. So you have to like overlap things, and then you've got thicker areas than not. So I have to rethink how I'm going to do that.
I'll bet if you started with like a bicycle helmet,
it would be too.
Well, I went and I got a head. Hold on.
It helps when you get ahead in life.
Oh, seriously, I bought a head.
Most guys don't admit to that in open court.
This will be me for the rest of the show, right? So I got this head. I got it on Amazon.
Sounds like it.
And so I started making the Magneto helmet out of the stuff.
Kind of looks like it's made out of skin.
Well, yeah. Well, that's just the color of it.
No, that's okay.
But this was my first attempt at anything, and I was perhaps a little over-ambitious with what I was starting with.
Perhaps.
But, it's fun. And
so how much of this stuff have you gone through?
Well, see, there's the thing about it. It's since it's a thermoreactive plastic, I can actually take these, heat them up, and stick them back together and recreate my sheet.
Oh, nice. I was going to ask if they bond to themselves, if it's possible to...
They do, and oddly enough, the stuff comes, this is the back side of it. I know you can't really tell the difference, but this is just the regular plastic. On the opposite side is an adhesive. So when you heat it up to work with it, you can also stick it to other things like foam board. So if you took a foam board core and you made like a shoulder pad out of it, then you stuck this stuff over top of it, you could really form it smoothly.
Cool.
and make something substantial with it. So it's kind of a cool thing, and I've been playing with it lately.
So what kind of paints do you use with that?
You got to sand it real good because it's very porous, and I haven't actually tried applying paint to it yet because I've only had the stuff for I guess it's 2 weeks now I've had it. But apparently you can use regular acrylic paints or you can spray paint it. It'll hold anything as long as you put a good primer coat on it.
Very interesting.
It's kind of expensive though. It's like $80 for a big poster board sheet. Or that's the largest one, which is bigger than poster board, but it's not cheap. But the cool thing about it, like I said, is you really could reuse it. Like I could take this helmet that I was working on, and like you can see the seams. If I heated it up enough, I could pull it apart by the seams and flatten them out and reuse those pieces.
So when do we get to see your finished Magneto helmet?
I don't know. That is probably not the right application for Warbler. Just the smoothness of that helmet and everything. It's just
okay. How about like a Chewbacca belt?
A bandolier?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. I think the first thing you're going to see is the Cersei Lannister belt.
All
because that's actually needed for something.
Okay, and for those who couldn't tell by our pronunciation, that's Warbler as in Warbla, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, available at fine comic book shops everywhere. Or
well,
maybe
no, not really.
Not all of them.
I'm actually very fortunate that the comic book shop I make carries it. I think they're one of like 8 places in the U.S. that carry it. Otherwise, you have to mail order it.
Really? Let's see. Warbla. And I just did a search on Amazon for it. By the way, with as much as we mention Amazon, they should probably be sponsoring us and giving us money. And I'm not seeing
Kraken. Hello, Kraken.
I'm not seeing it on Amazon, but I do see other thermoplastic something or others. So, okay. There we go. Fun stuff. Okay. Now, what else are we doing? By the way, has Romy's business been doing well?
She's currently working on 4 or 5 different commissions, so
nice.
Yeah, not bad.
Is she making any appearances at conventions or anything coming up?
Unfortunately, not a whole lot of stuff comes to Texas.
Well, you could send her elsewhere,
Well, yeah, except you keep maxing out my credit card.
Well, it's not my fault you can't pay them off fast enough.
So Peter gets to travel the world while Romy has to stay there, not traveling.
I wouldn't be able to travel the world if it weren't for Jim's credit cards. So.
Yeah, see, Peter's a real jerk.
No, I'm a realist. I know that I wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you, Jim.
You don't even put out, Peter.
Not to you.
Is that allowed?
I've got standards. Come on.
Thank God this is 18 plus.
Alrighty. So, Jenny, have you decided what our homework is?
No.
Okay, so we'll move on.
Sorry.
All right.
I can't do that like that. If I had thought about it for a couple of days, I probably could have figured out something, but that's why I normally do homework.
Excuses.
All right. Well, I've assigned.
I'm just mad because I painted this stupid tree and it's bleeding.
It's not usually good when your trees bleed.
I know. I'm very upset.
Would you like to show us your tree, your bleeding tree?
No. Can you see how it's bleeding?
Yeah, it looks not quite as defined as I'm sure you would like it.
Yeah, this stupid bleeding tree.
So what is this for?
Well, I was painting a tank top. Duh.
No, I don't know that you're painting tank tops. All I know is that your tree is bleeding.
I've decided to start dyeing, so I got some dye, but it's like a painting dye, and you have to paint it on things. And so I thought, what would I paint? And I was trying to paint this tree, and the tree doesn't stick, so that's what I get for painting on synthetic fabrics. But that was my tank top that I had that was the most color bad.
You have any other projects you want to share with us?
I dyed some other clothes. They're really cool looking. They're all purple.
I want to see.
This top is now purple.
Okay. Calm down, Jason.
What did it used to be?
It was gray.
Ah.
Purple's better than gray.
And then this one was white, and now it's purple with these. I like the buttons.
Nice.
Hmm.
And then this one, which was also gray, but now it's purple.
Have you done any non-purple?
I only had purple. I had to buy more, and I just got it today.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
So no, quit challenging me.
Well, I'm not challenging you in a negative sense. I'm just pointing out that Jim is being creepy and staring at us from behind the head.
You have to
Jim, I
smile
think
while you're
this-
doing it.
Yes, I do. Oh, you made me snort.
I think we should listen to Rock Sugar. I like people to listen to that too.
Alright, is there anything in particular from Rock Sugar that we should be listening to?
No. Most of it's available on YouTube.
Yeah, and you've got to watch the videos too because they help.
Yeah, definitely. If this is going to be the homework, start with Don't Stop the Sandman.
Start with... Oh, I'm writing this down.
I noticed. You're very Jenny this evening.
Sandman. That reminds me of another kind of mashup cover band that I've come across. I don't know who else has heard of them, but Beatallica, who are basically their entire shtick is mashups of Beatles and Metallica.
They are awesome.
I thought it was going to be Bee Gees.
Nope. Yeah, so let me.
They have. At last, I saw 2 different albums out, both of which are very good.
Let's see. Beatallica, there we go. Yeah, the latest Beatallica CD, Abbey Load, is available now. There we go. Yeah, so it looks like they have a number of albums. More than 2 anyway. There's Abbey Load. There's Masterful Mystery Tour. Blood is All You Need. Or All You Need is Blood.
The only 2 I have are from 2002 and 2004, so it's been a while since I checked in with them. Garage Days Night and Beatallica.
Sergeant Hetfield's Motor Breath Pub Band.
Nice.
Yeah. But, they stay in character very well. They're worth it. They're certainly not for everybody, but they're very much worth a listen as far as I'm concerned. There you go. And of course, all of the song titles are, the song titles themselves pretty much tell you everything you need to know about the individual song. For example, on Masterful Mystery Tour, we have songs such as Fuel on the Hill and I'm Evil. Got to Get You Trapped Under Ice. I Want to Choke Your Band. Things like that. So yeah, it's a kind of what you expect to get is exactly what you're going to get, but they do it very well. There you go. But no, we're not doing Beatallica. We're doing Rock Sugar. So.
But thank you for co-opting it. I mean, we just want to hear more about it.
Why not both?
All right.
Katie. Mashup time, everybody.
Ooh, mashup. Katie, do you have anything you'd like to add? Because you've been very quiet.
She's been muted.
Well, that contributes to quietness, yes.
Wait, were you talking to her or me?
Was Jenny saying something?
So I never unmuted myself because I didn't have anything to say anyway.
Okay. Well, anybody else have any topics, or do we want to wrap it up?
I think we're about done.
We can talk about our game afterwards, but we don't need to bore the nobody who's listening to us with that.
All right. All right, well, to anybody who might be watching this later, because nobody's watching us right now.
Don't tell the future people
Really?
that.
Oh, I'm sorry. For our multitude of thousands and hundreds of
Yeah.
of
Be careful of what you
watchers.
say, Peter, because Skynet could send the Terminator back and stop the entire show from ever happening.
We're really popular, you guys.
We'd be so lucky. Anyway. All right. So anyway, have a happy evening, and we will accost you all later.